Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unifying Wellness's Drop-In Self-Care Day. We are very excited to start the day off this morning with a workout from our own Stephanie Luaris, who is the owner of Heart and Soul Fitness and Wellness in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And Stephanie, I am going to turn it over to you. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are going to get started with a little bit of movement this morning. And this isn't going to be a crazy jump around workout. This is a type of movement that is accessible for everybody without equipment, no matter your size or ability. So we're just going to get moving this morning, get our blood flowing, get our muscles moving, and get ready for a really great day. We've got a lot of wonderful Unifying Wellness providers coming today to present all kinds of amazing things for us. But today, I'm going to bring you just a little bit of movement that we can do anywhere, whether we're working from home, sticking around at home, at the office, and just need to get our body moving. We find ourselves a lot right now staying still, being still, a little bit more sedentary. This is just a great way to add a little bit more movement into our day. We can keep it as small as we like, or we can build upon it. Whatever we choose, however we feel that day, or as we progress and get stronger, we can build on it that way as well. So as we get started this morning, all we're going to do is we're just going to start to march in place. We're just going to get that blood flowing and just get our body moving. This is something that as you're even watching television, a lot of people are really enjoying a lot of series on Netflix right now and things like that, or even when you're watching TV in the evening, set the timer on your phone for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and just get up and march in place, step in place. You can even do side steps and just take your feet side to side and slide those feet side to side. And as we continue to warm up that body, get that blood flowing, we're going to start to do some knee lifts. So we're just going to raise that knee as high as comfortable. If bringing the knee up isn't comfortable, then just kick your leg forward and just bring that foot as forward as comfortable. If it's not comfortable to bring the leg fully extended, then just point your toe and do that. So we're getting the body warmed up. We're getting the blood flowing. We feel the heart rate start to raise. And now that we're getting a little bit of movement in, what we're going to do now is as we just go back to that basic marching, we're going to start to shrug our shoulders. One of the biggest complaints that I'm hearing right now from people is numbness in their wrists and hands and fingers. This is originating right now from everybody sitting in those chairs for so long at their computers or on their phones. And it's coming from our necks and our shoulders. It's not actually happening in our hands and our wrists. It's coming from all these muscles being tightened. So we're going to shrug our shoulders. Now we're going to roll our shoulders forward and back. We're going to go ahead and stand still as we continue to roll those shoulders back. Now standing tall, we're going to make sure that as we stand tall, our feet aren't spread far apart, but they're not together. Our feet are stacked with our hips. Our spine is straight. Our shoulders are back. So we're standing nice and tall. And we're just going to do our neck side to side. We're not doing a really big stretch because we're still warming up those muscles. So we're not going in a really big range of motion. And now we're going to do just a half roll forward. And to the back. Excellent. Now we're going to come down to our arms. We're going to extend our arms fully forward. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. Arms are fully forward. We're still standing in that good posture with our feet as wide as our hips, our spine stacked up, those shoulders back, arms extended forward. And all we're going to do is open one arm and close. Open and close. And as you open that arm, you feel your chest, you feel that pectoral muscle extend, because as we're hunched over our computer, we feel those arms are real tight. Those muscles get real tight. So we're going to just continue to open and close. Open and close. We're going to turn to the other side and do the same thing with the other arm. Open and close. Open and close. And if having your arms fully extended is uncomfortable, bring your elbows in. You don't want your shoulders hunched up. You want those shoulders nice and relaxed. And you can open your arm like that. If that full extension is too uncomfortable, bring those elbows into 90 degrees and open that way. But just bring those shoulders down. We don't want our shoulders in our ears. We want our shoulders nice and relaxed. And you can open and close with those shoulders at 90 degrees. Next, we're going to imagine that we have a bar in our hands. And we're going to do an overhead press. So again, we're in that nice stacked standing position. And if you're uncomfortable standing, you can also do this seated. And when we're seated, same thing. Our feet are spread in line with our hips. Our spine is nice and straight and our shoulders are back. And we're just going to pretend we have that bar in our hand. And we're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And if that full extension is too much on your shoulders or your chest, you can just raise halfway. Or you can go slightly forward. If going straight up is too much of a pull, extend slightly forward. So if we think of a straight up, we can go at that 45-degree angle and extend forward for less of a stretch and pull on some of those tighter muscles in our necks and shoulders. And so that's another way we can modify that exercise. Next, moving down to the core of our body. That's something that we think, oh, we need to be down on the floor doing our crunches or our ab exercises. This is actually something that's pretty easy to do standing or even sitting down. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to extend one hand and just reach toward our opposite foot. Just go up and down, up and down. Other hand, up and down, up and down. And you can do that same thing seated. You can do that standing as well as seated, just remembering that good posture alignment with our feet in line with our hips, in that good spine, shoulders back. Next, we're going to do a rotation where we have our hands on our hips. And what we're doing, we're not rotating from our waist. We're going to be rotating from our hips. So we put our hands down on our hips. We're rotating the body at the hip. So you almost feel like your knees are turning as well. And so we're going to rotate the body to one side and the other. This is a little bit more difficult to do seated, but we're going to rotate and rotate. And if you have hip soreness or tightness or any type of hip problems, only do this to the best of your ability or skip this exercise. Only do exercises that are comfortable for you. We never want to cause pain or injury in our exercises. And so our next exercise we're going to do requires a little bit of balance. So if you have something to grab onto, you want to grab onto a sturdy surface. And being in that good posture alignment, we're going to grab onto our balance on one side. And we're going to do a knee lift as well as a pull down. So it looks like this. We're going to pull down and raise that knee. Pull down and raise that knee. Pull down and raise that knee. Same thing on the other side. Pull down and raise that knee. Pull down, raise the knee. Looks like my dog's joining us this morning. Pull down and raise the knee. Pull down and raise the knee. And on any of these exercises, the recommended repetitions is anywhere from 6 to 10. And you can do 2 to 3 sets, depending on the time you have available and your comfort level. What we look for is something that's challenging, but comfortable. We never want to go to the point of pain in exercise. We look at something called the level of perceived exertion. If you think about something on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is super simple, I'm not feeling this exercise at all. 10 is, I'm in excruciating pain. I never want to do this again. This is the world's most awful thing. We want our exercises to fall maybe around a 6 to 7, where we feel it, it's challenging. We might be a little sore the next day, but we're not debilitated. We're not popping anti-inflammatories. We're not getting the heating pad out. We're not getting the ice packs out. We felt like we're challenged. We're getting the muscles engaged, but we're not having to continually engage in this exercise recovery cycle of soreness, pain, I need to recover, I'm going to skip a day, but that we're challenging ourselves, we feel like we've had a good workout, and we're able to continue on in a consistent manner. So after we do our pull down with that knee raise, we're going to start to do some lunges. And if you're somebody that has a standing desk or are on a lot of Zoom calls where you're maybe able to stand, this is something that you can do where you're able to keep your upper body really stable. And so what we do is, this is another one where if you don't have great balance, you can grab onto that stable surface. But when we look at doing lunges, you have one leg that comes forward and bends. You never want your knee to go past your foot, your front foot, because then we start to get off our center of gravity. We start to get into a place where we can cause injury. So we just want that front leg to bend, and then we extend the back leg so that our back leg is straight, and we feel a stretch all the way through this entire chain. We feel a stretch in our calf, we feel it in our hamstring, we feel it in our glute, We even start to feel it in our upper back. And so we hold that stretch. And a way to deepen the intensity is we don't bend forward from the waist, we bend forward from the hip. And then we can hold that for a little more stability. You can put your hands on your knees. If you've got a little bit more balance, you can extend your arms. You can even do a rotation. We start to get into some yoga positioning. And then we do that lunge on each side. We also have some variations on the lunges where we do a side lunge. And that same concept stands where our bent leg doesn't go past our foot. And so we're able to get a different stretch through our inner thigh. We're stretching more muscles throughout our legs, our glutes, and our lower back. And so as we've gone through our entire body, the next thing we want to do is stretch the rest of our body to finish our workout. So we're going to come back. We're going to kind of shake things out a little bit. And we're going to bring our arm across the body. This is a time to take a few deep breaths and just breathe. And we're going to switch. And we're going to come back to that rotation. And this time, instead of rotating at the hip, we are going to rotate at the waist. We're just going to do a very slow waist rotation. Remembering to breathe really deeply. And as we exhale really deeply, we're getting all that pent up energy out and inhaling, getting that great oxygen into our body, into our bloodstream, into all those muscles we just worked. We're going to come back and just rotate that neck around forward, back, and side to side. Roll those shoulders back. And forward. And as you're able, we're going to stretch our back. And we're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward. And this isn't a forced fold to touch your toes. You're just going to fold forward as far as is comfortable. And then just let your head hang. And as you inhale, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And just let your spine stack back on itself. Then we just do a couple more shoulder rolls, get loose again. And no matter how long you make that workout, whether it's just a couple repetitions of each exercise and it lasts 5 minutes, or you do those 6 to 10 repetitions and you do 2 to 3 sets each and you make it a 15-minute, a 30-minute workout, whatever it is that fits your ability, these things add up. 5 minutes, 5 days a week is a 25-minute workout. That is huge for somebody who's never worked out before. I thank you for joining me this morning. My link for my Unifying Wellness page will be in the chat, as well as I'm going to come back in a few minutes and add my information for my Silver Sneakers Classic class. This is an adapted fitness workout to build muscle, range of motion, and improve everyday tasks. And I would love if you consider joining me for one of those classes. It very much builds on a lot of these activities that we've done today. And I thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the activities that we have on our self-care day.